Hello, gang. Whoa. I'm Dana Snyder. I do the voice of Mr. Baldwin on Disney's Fish Hooks and Dirt Wizard on Adventure Time. Had Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And Granny Squidbillies also played a shrub attorney in episode 6, Revenge of the Trees of Flapjack. I cook. I'm a very good cook. I like long walks on the beach. And over to you, Rodger.
My name is unimportant. But for those of you that care, it's Rodger Bumpass. I do the voice of Squidward Tentacles on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yay!
And the doctor occasionally on that show also. And Professor Membrane. I used to do Professor Membrane on Invader Zim. And the voice of Rodger Bumpass at my house. And I'm really good at that. To you.
Hello, I'm Courtenay Taylor. If there's any gamers out there, I am Jack from the Mass Effect series. I am.
I did not know that.
I am.
I worked on the show too.
Yay! I'm also Ada Wong in the Resident Evil series going forward from Operation Raccoon City. And I play Starla on regular show. And also Rigby's mom and a bunch of other stuff.
And I'm Bill Salyers. I do the voice of Rigby, the coolest raccoon in the whole world, on a regular show. I took over the role of everybody's favorite scientist Salarian in Mass Effect 3. And then let's see, I got my start doing Moral Oral, where I played Reverend Putty for Adult Swim. And been in a bunch of video games, like I say, Mass Effect 3 and Sims 3, did lead voices in that. Skyrim, just a bunch of different things that you may have played.
Skyrim 3?
Yeah,
Skyrim
yeah,
15.
Yeah,
Everything else was 3. Yeah.
No, yeah, I just do 3 things, just
Okay.
anything, yeah, the third.
All in threes. Trifecta.
We all worked on Mass Effect. That's amazing.
I did.
Didn't
Mass
know it.
Effect, keeping voice actors employed.
I wasn't
over
on Mass
and
Effect,
over.
just for the record.
We
everybody.
shunned him on that show.
Well, keeping almost all voice
Things
actors
were said at a
employed.
party. I was signed up to do it. Ended up not happening because I was flapping my gums. Didn't happen, but maybe Mass Effect 5.
Had to be me.
It was
Someone else
tequila,
might have gotten it
actually.
wrong.
That's right.
All right, now, if anybody has questions for the panel, you can line up right over here and start. I only ask questions.
P.S. If there's no questions, then the panel's over. So think about that a little bit before you just say
Class
there's no
dismissed.
questions.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ooh, a good question coming up. You got a good one, right? She's leaving.
She's just walking by.
gotta
She's leaving.
go.
No,
She's leaving.
she's totally,
she's
she's
there.
gone. She's out of here. Woo!
I want-
This question is for Rodger. You played Dr. Light on Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. Have you worked with, and seen Tara Strong in person?
Oh, yes, all the time. And I look at her a lot when I see her, too.
Everyone does.
She's wonderful, wonderful talent. What just fell back here?
She's pretty to look at.
Easy on the eyes.
Very good question. Have you been having a good time here? Question for you. I'm turning the tables.
Woo.
Yeah, you.
You're not done
Have
yet,
you been
lady.
having a good time? What are you dressed as? What is it?
Attack on Titan.
From the Dr. Seuss novel, Attack on Titanus.
It's a feel-good story.
That's right. It's very good. Very good question. Yes, hand, stand up.
This is about becoming a voice actor.
Hold on. We got a question over here.
No, it's a camera.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, you're
If you have
good.
questions, come on over
Yeah,
to this side,
absolutely.
'cause I have the microphone over here.
How did you get your start?
Oh, wait. We don't have time for that. Hang on a second. Okay. My question over here is, how did you get your start?
eHarmony.
Don't pay attention to him.
It's in stereo. It's like delayed stereo.
For your real couple, find a real match.
It's the eHarmony guy, that weird, like,
Who?
Because that's not creepy at all.
No, I guess that's how he got his start. eHarmony commercials?
oh, he said eHarmony. I was doing the eHarmony guy.
Let's
Right.
get very technical about this. If someone wanted to submit a voice tape, is there a proper format? Do you send it on 8-track?
Yes, we definitely don't. You
First
don't
off,
send it on
it's
tapes
called a
anymore because
demo.
no one will listen to it.
Edison cylinders.
That's right, yeah.
We're just trying
Scott
to give you
Adsit,
the best
everybody.
advice
Ladies
to
and
compete
gentlemen,
with us.
Scott Adsit.
That's what was the point of
Okay.
the panel.
Yeah.
To bring up the next generation.
Yes.
So if you want to be a voiceover artist, my advice to you is knock it off. We don't need the competition.
So I'm now prepared to answer the question how I got my start. Scott Adsit.
Got that to 30 Rock.
He invited me to read for Moral Oral, and that was my first show.
Nice. That's how you started? You just got a show?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't happen like that.
Okay, everybody, first, before you leave today, meet Scott Adsit.
Because that's how you're going to get
'Cause
your start.
That's
During
how
this-
That guy right there.
Being friends with Scott is the best part.
Yeah.
During this panel, if just one at a time, just go over and shake his hand while we're sitting here
While we're
for this
just
hour.
saying whatever.
Can I give you my A-track?
There you go. She's doing. She's dressed as from a Dr. Seuss book.
I will answer somewhat seriously. I started. I was running a boxing gym, and I had terrible vocal cord nodes, and so I went to theater school. I was studying, and I got turned down for my master's program because my voice was so bad. And I went to my voice and speech teacher, and she said, "I think you should try voiceover. Why don't you go take a class?" And I didn't know what it was. And so she explained it to me, and I was like, oh, I've been doing that forever because I love to repeat commercials back to the television. So I went and took a class for 4 weeks, and then they brought in an agent at the end of the class because a lot of times, and this still holds true, they will bring in representation, often at the end of a class, and I stalked that guy on the daily for like a year until he signed me, and I just kept calling him, and then one day I called and I said, "Hi, Greg," and he said, "Hi, Courtney," and I was like, "Guess what? It's my birthday." And he was like, "I guess you want me to sign you because it's your," and I'm like, "Yes, where do I sign?" And that's exactly what happened. But so persevere. Next. And take class.
I was working with the National Lampoon in New York, and right after Animal House, they wanted to do a new movie. And they had done 2 movies of the shark movies before, the Jaws films. And
Sharknado?
They wanted, well,
Yeah, when you
lo-
think the
long
shark
before-
movie now, they
Sharknado.
think
Okay,
Sharknado,
Jaws
not, real shark.
movies.
The
They-
old shark movie.
And they were going to do a new movie, obviously a comedy called Jaws 3 People 0. But the best thing about the movie was the title, of course. But it was about a movie studio making a shark movie. And so we were going to use Bruce, the Spielberg's shark, and show how it worked. So he came in, because he had already done Jaws in 1941 at the time, so he wasn't a big star yet. And he said, if you do this movie, it's going to ruin the fantasy of my film, so you guys either cancel that film or I'm walking. So what do you think they did? And according to the script, though, I had a love scene with Bo Derek, which is another Hollywood tragedy story. And so I was left with nothing to do at all, and fortunately the William Morris agency is big enough that I can walk down the hallway, and they have a voiceover department. So I crept down there and begged them to help me get started with that, and fortunately it turned into things like SpongeBob and being on a panel here. So
The highlight of your career, being here on
highlight
the
so
panel.
far, yes, it is.
Perfect. For
So
all of us,
that's the rest is history, unfortunately.
I had like him. I met a guy and put me on Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I gotta get out more.
So we have a 50-50 split on find the agent first, let them find the job, and 2 of you found the job.
Right.
Being tenacious, hardworking, go for your goals, or
Or
stare
not.
at your
Get out
lap
and meet a
every
lot of
morning and
people.
see if something
Or
fell
not.
into it.
Just go around glad handing and
I think generally
sucking up.
the natural order of things most often is get the agent first.
Yeah, to be serious for a moment, I had acted for decades by the time I was asked to come in and read for that. So I just really hadn't thought about doing voice, and it's turned out to be one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. So I had been working on my craft for a long time before I stepped in front of a mic.
I think that's pretty much universal with people who work consistently, is that there is some acting background, and now that people are actually interested in just going straight to the voice acting section, sometimes they will neglect the acting part and just go with the funny voice. And really, so much of the things that we work on, you do have to approach it just like you would on camera acting, breaking down the script, making character choices, fleshing it out, because you can do funny voices all day long, but if they don't actually have any heart or soul, it just doesn't sustain.
People throw away. People who want to do voiceover stuff think that doesn't mean they should study acting, but it's the exact opposite. You should have strong acting training.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
It's-
improv
it's very
classes
important.
and things like that.
It's
It's
always
not-
kind of
yeah.
It's always kind of annoying in an amusing way when people say, "Oh, you do voiceover work. Do you ever do any acting?"
Yeah,
You
right.
just want to grab them by
Or
the ears
hey,
and go,
I can do that too.
"Ah," you know.
Check it out.
Because I
can
feel
do
like
that.
people
How do I
think
get
like
into that?
that's for like announcing stuff like, hey, the new Saab 2014. Like, that's a different thing.
Hey, no,
That's
no,
not
no, no,
doing
no.
a
I do a
cartoon
lot
and
of
things.
commercial
Yeah.
voiceover.
No.
And they're
No,
still
no.
acting in that
There's
as well.
nothing wrong with that.
Presentation.
No, but like, I think what I'm saying is I think people think like, they think like a narrator, like,
It's
coming
true.
up next week on Just for Kids.
Right.
Well, there's
That
there's
hit show Just for Kids that everyone loves.
There's
There
all kinds of
is-
it.
Sorry,
right.
there is even in the commercial acting
hell are you
world.
going? Wait a minute.
He's like,
What's
I
the
gotta
matter?
get out of here.
No good?
In the commercial
Oh,
acting
okay.
world, it's still acting. You're still placing yourself in circumstances. You're still trying to talk to someone or be someone in that. So it all comes into play. And I think at least for me, I do a little bit of everything, and so I feel like it always comes back to the acting part of it. So study hard.
It's what makes the difference between you and your competitors. What you bring to a character that's not stereotypical. That's where acting comes in, to bringing that subtlety, that nuance, that is creative and not doing the spaghetti and meatballs every time in what's asked of you. So the acting part, the creativity part is essential to really making a living at this.
And
Yeah.
the thing that I get all the time is somebody will walk up and say, "Hey, I do voices," and they'll rattle off
right.
5 popular voices, right? And I'm like, "Well, that's great.
Those are
Somebody's already
taken."
covered that."
Yeah.
You know, so
I got this crazy dog. His name's Ruby Roo.
yeah.
You're going to love this voice I do.
But how's your acting?
Yeah. I got a dog food commercial campaign with my acting chops. Just at least being able to think about the dog that I was talking about and, like have some emotional connection to that. And that actually paid my rent for like 8 years. So, it's worth it.
But to explore what you were saying, that I think you were going down this path, a lot of people mimic an already existing voice. They show how well they can do Bart Simpson or how well they can do Squidward. It's like, there's already a guy playing that part.
Yeah. And
Well, if you remember, like, say in the Renaissance, that's how the young artists were taught. They would mimic the masters, not to call us masters, but still, you would learn to do that and refine those basic techniques. Then you can spread your wings and create your own style.
Literally find your own voice.
Find your own voice.
That's right.
Or find someone else's voice.
Yeah, speaking for myself, when I approach a character, if I'm going to do a character on stage, I don't start by going, okay, I think he probably has a limp and a 4-inch nose or whatever. It's like I look at the script and try to get what I develop out of that. It's the same way when I do voiceover. I don't start by going, what funny voice can I do for this? I start by looking at the character and trying to get some sense of what they are from that, and that usually leads me to something.
Yeah, and what's their main drive? What do they want? Because every character has a main want. This guy wants a whatever it is.
I actually do start with the nose. That's where I started Squidward, literally.
Here we got a handsome guy right here with, I'm sure, a drop-dead question. What is it, sir? What's your name, by
My name's Corey.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Ever been here before?
Can you change your
Okay,
name?
good.
Because we're kind of not fond of Corey. Sorry.
Well, Corey Feldman, Corey Mayhem. There's
Oh, that's
high bars to set.
those we like.
You're named after, yeah.
Only room for 2, Corey.
And Corey Hart with the sunglasses at night, that lovely stuff too. Oh, yeah. That's all. There's that in this. Anyway, I'm getting on the
What's your question, Corey?
what books or outside of the lines do you say, like classes or something, would you sit there and suggest for people to take? Is it language classes, dialect?
Acting classes.
Acting classes, improv
Scott
classes.
adds it, everybody.
Especially improv classes.
Scott
Improv
adds.
classes are great.
Yeah.
It keeps you loose and funny-ish. And the majority of the stuff I do are video games, and accent work has been very, very helpful. Generally, with video games, they don't want an actual dead-on accent. They want a video game version of an accent, of a German accent or Russian or English or any of those things. So being able to sound dead on, but then be able to reel it back and just add in touches of it has been incredibly helpful, because when I go in to work on a video game, they can have me in my session for up to 3 voices. So even though I might have auditioned for, a character like Jack, they can say, oh, but there's also this other woman. She's English. She's a little bit older. She's, a captain or something like that. And if I can go to that, and then if they can also be like, okay, and now there's a couple monsters or something, it gives you the flexibility that they'll go to you over and over again because they know that they can be like, okay, she'll do accents, she'll do zombies, she'll,
Or
all that kind of stuff.
sometimes you could get hired for a job for the thing you didn't even audition for.
I just did that.
Yeah.
Which was
All right.
scary as all
What's
get
your
out.
name? Tim? No. What is it? Don Tim.
Can you
Kinda
change it to
close.
Corey because he was very successful?
He lost match game earlier, so that's why he was a contest. It was a noble fight.
Yeah. Charles Nelson Riley.
That's right.
Expanding on what you said earlier, I actually took a class with Rodger Bumpass a couple years back.
You survived?
Yes, I did.
Did he do the touchy thing to find your inner voice?
Did he get inappropriate with you?
Only a couple of stars.
Okay.
Oh
Good.
my.
No, you lucked out. That's good.
One of the things that he said to expand on that is what they're looking for is innovations, not imitations.
That's good. It's a good slogan.
I know. What are some professional ethics you should be concerned with when you audition? And like,
What was that? What are we concerned with?
Did you say ethics?
no.
I was like, because there aren't any.
I'm trying to think of the words. What is it again? What behavior should you demonstrate when you actually go into an audition versus, say, a job interview? Because I've heard a lot of audition horror stories. Audition and other stories where they just walked in, they acted the part, and then they got the part. I think that's how it worked it. Acting really worked.
That's probably that's a rare occasion a little bit, but except for every audition I do.
Every one that I've ever done.
Yeah,
yes.
this side of the thing.
It just,
You
just
know,
be-
you want to show fearlessness. You don't want to be afraid. You don't want to show timidity. You
Never
want to
show
get in
fear.
there and, you want to just, do it.
You want to show confidence, professionalism, friendliness, and to a certain degree, you don't care.
Yeah, and also
That's a really good point.
flexibility. You may go, you think you got this thing figured out, and you're like, hey, I'm Mr. Taco. Here I am for the taco thing. They're like, hey, we didn't want him to sound like a dude. Can you do a lady? But what you don't want to do, like, no, he should be a dude because I worked on this voice for 2 weeks. Be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And you do your classic Southern Belle that you do, which is really good.
yeah. The word
and,
no should not be in your audition criteria
Be
at all.
flexible.
No.
Flexible, willing, friendly.
I'm going to throw in another side of that coin, which is that I do a lot of auditions from my home. If you're talking about VO, I probably do. I see my agents probably once every 3 months, but I turn in a lot of auditions, and it's because I do that at home. So it's really helped me also to have something of a technical background and be able to engineer myself and send in something that sounds good.
Also, there's something called get the hell out or leave them wanting more. And I think from my friends that do casting, what happens a lot is you can actually ruin your own audition because they'll love what you did. And then you'll be like, anyway, so what's going on? And you'll sit there and they're on a schedule and they're like, that's great, get the hell out. So it's better to leave and leave them wanting more.
I went on this was on a VO audition, but this is an example of that, I feel like. I went on this audition, and it was like for 3 people, and so 3 performers were auditioning. They brought us in groups of 3, and we all had some little thing to say. And this guy, this old, cat box walks in there, and he's one of our 3, and we all do our little line. We all have 4 lines for these kind of big parts, but they only did short little lines. We finish. We're in this producer's office at Warner Brothers. It's weird and tiny, but there's for some reason 15 people in the room, all on couches, all just watching us. Imagine going to your living room and fill it up with 15 people, then you stand in front of them, and that's your weird audition. But it's because it's in a bungalow thing. And what happened? Oh,
A delivery just arrived. while you were
that's
speaking
wonderful.
there.
We finish. Everybody does a great job. They seem pleased with the thing. And this one guy is the one of the 3 of us. He's ushering the other 2 out, me and this other lady. And then he sort of hangs back. He goes, hey guys, just want to tell you really love what you're doing. And, it's been a wonderful time. And, good luck with your project. And he's taking the time to make eye contact with all these 15 people at the thing. It was the frickin' 14th season of ER. He tells them, good luck with your project. And what do you want to bet? Me and the other girl got cast, and that guy did not. because he lingered, like as if he didn't even know what it was. Just, guys, good luck with this thing you're trying out here.
I appreciate what you're trying to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So in short, don't be an ass.
Yeah, don't be a jackwad.
you know, those words to live by.
Hi guys, I'm also a voice actor, but I'm an amateur, of course. I could like do high to like really low, like.
Let's hear the low. Ask your question in the lowest voice.
Could you guys do like your
Whoa.
famous voice actors?
I'm in love.
I was going to say, I can't right
Whoa.
now because I'm distracted.
A beautiful question from a beautiful man. Let me tell you. You're a very handsome man, let me tell you that.
Thank you.
And he knows handsome men.
That's right. I've known many handsome men.
Like, how do you guys feel just doing the most popular like cartoons on TV?
It stinks.
I hate it.
I wish
hate
I
it.
did
I don't know
cartoons
why I'm
no
here.
one knew. Just kidding. No one
Yeah.
does know the cartoons.
It's a dream of a lifetime, actually.
Yeah.
You guys like do like a few like famous ones that you could like if you want.
She's asking you to hit a few of your more famous
All right.
characters.
Close your eyes. Tell me if you know who this is. Close your eyes. You don't have to hold your eyes closed. Do your eyelids work? Okay. Close them. Close your. Oh, my new Crunch Berries. Well, the kids will love them. Captain Crunch. That's a famous voice for you.
He had to tell you, though.
She got it. I think she got it. How about this one? My new Fruit Loops with my toucan nephews. Right? Famous.
I love Cheerios. No, it's not the same, is it?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic.
I wonder if a fall from this height would be enough to kill me.
I love that.
I loved canned bread. Not now, son. I'm making toast. And then I wrote. Go ahead.
It's the look on your face as all this is happening, which I would only describe as deadpan. That's making
I've never seen a face do cricket sounds.
more apathetic. It's like actively apathetic, which is ironic. No, you stay there. No, you stay. You're staying for the rest of this.
We have a seat for you right here.
All right, next question.
Hi, my name is Leslie. And did you grow up
Yes.
listening to yourself, watching yourself in the mirror, thinking about the voices that you wanted to do? And do you have to practice at this all the time?
You go.
We did
Yes.
we did serial voices. You guys.
I looked at myself in the mirror. I wasn't really happy with what I was seeing, but doing the voices helped distract me. And yes, I do have to practice things over and over again because sometimes you damage your throat doing strong voices, and you hear what you did a couple of seasons ago, and you wonder whether you can still do that. So if I'm watching something I'm doing, I'm trying to replicate that to make sure everything's still in order, you know, and to improve things too.
I grew up staring at myself in the mirror a lot, and that has not changed, unfortunately. Constantly, just. But I actually, I did not practice voices per se when I was a kid. I sang commercials. Like, I was obsessed with commercials, and so I would just, my nickname, my sister used to call me the commercial lady. And so I would just walk around, and I was kind of obsessed with certain voices. Like, who was the lady who did the Tampax commercial? Rita
Hayworth, I think,
Rita
did Tampax.
Vaccaro.
Brenda
And
Vaccaro.
Brenda Vaccaro. She had a very scratchy voice. And I loved voices like that. So I did actually, when I would get sick, I would really try and keep, like, I would get like strep throat, and I would really try and keep it like this as long as I could.
Lauren
So I think I
Bacall
can
for Tampax.
Yes. Lauren Bacall.
She did do one. She did Fancy Feast, right?
Yes.
Lauren Bacall.
Yeah, I was like,
I grew up.
taste is easy to recognize.
You know how to whistle, don't you?
I grew up in the middle.
Just put your lips together. Oh, here.
Got broken
off.
Well, what happened? Oh, I grew up in the middle of nowhere in rural Oklahoma, and so I had to entertain myself. And as a result, when I would go play Army, I had to be both armies, and you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to. You want to do the German accent right, and so yeah. So yes, and I have died many times as Wehrmacht in World War II games. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really think of it that way. I didn't think I was preparing for a career in voice, but I grew up using my imagination. I love to read, which is another thing that you can do seriously to prepare for this work, is read everything all the time because, out loud, because they're going to throw copy at you that you're not ready for, and you're going to have to be able to make sense of it quickly.
And listen to stuff all the time. Listen to the radio, and there's a great you can listen to anybody's demo if you go to voicebank.net. It has like every single person from every agency. It's a very good resource if you're like putting together a demo for yourself. You can go on that website and it's
check
free.
out your competition.
Yeah, you can just listen to everybody and see which ones are, look up who's working and stuff.
I still do that, actually. I'm always practicing, and I'm always working, and I'm always listening to people's demos. I had a girlfriend who I wasn't doing it, and it was, and she was like, "You're crazy. There's so many amazing ways to listen to your competition, to find out what people are doing, find out what people are booking, that you absolutely." And in this day and age, when you can be driving in your car and actually get a funny voice that comes out of nowhere, and instead of being like, "Oh no, I'm gonna forget it," you can whip out your phone and record yourself doing it and come back to it and actually continue to work on that thing. You should always be working, always be practicing. At least for me, I'm driven by fear, and so that's my story.
And listening to other people is actually, and watching other people is actually can be confidence instilling, because not everybody is Sir Laurence Olivier. And you can look at yourself not being egotistical whatsoever or overconfident and say, I'm as good as that. I can do that. It's actually one of the things that pushed me to pull the trigger and go to New York and start a career in this sort of thing. So you don't have to think that you are the best thing in the world to really throw your marbles out there and try. I mean, the only failure is not trying.
Of all the characters that each of you have voiced, which ones would you have to say is your favorite and why?
Well, of course, for me, it's the big guy for me is Squidward, and money. And you know what? To be able to travel to conventions like this and to meet the people that have watched and come to you and say and smile so big and shake your hand and say how much they love your work and how they grew up with you and all that. This is the gratification that we don't get in the studios, and that's where I'm at, really. I love the money, but I love you guys too, so I'm gonna well up now.
I say the same thing for Master Shake, but what he said, but not Squidward.
Not in the same way, though.
But money, yes, and yes.
I would have to go along with that. I love playing Rigby because it enables me to meet you people and to come out. It's also just a hell of a lot of fun to be that annoying. I always say if you can't be Cartman, be Rigby. But I was also really fond of playing Warden Solus because I got to do that great death scene in Mass Effect 3, and it was something that touched a lot of fans, something that people came up to me and talked about. I'll be invited to a con because of Rigby, and people will walk up to me and talk about Mass Effect 3. So, those are two of my faves.
I have several favorites, but obviously Jack is very close to my heart. She was very cathartic for me to work on, and I also felt so proud that they created a character, a female character that was not your typical video game character, that she was tough and bald and tattooed and didn't give a fuck. Can we swear? I don't know if there's any little kids, but didn't give a fuck about anything, and was really like, she was her id for a while, and they gave her a great storyline, and I felt like so many things about Mass Effect really shaped the way that I'm working on a bunch of new games now, and I see trends coming off of that series where people are starting to branch out as far as diversity in the games, having men and women be playable characters, having a female lead that's comparable to a male lead. So she's one of my favorites. And I also actually love playing Starla because I get to come in and it's like a master class. I don't work on the show every single week, but when I do, there's always an amazing guest cast, and I get to see people like the day that I walked in and Mark Hamill was playing my husband for an episode we were playing, I was just like, somebody time travel back to that 9-year-old girl who had a huge crush on him and just let her know. So those are two high points for me.
Ooh, golf claps.
There's no money in video games, so.
Yeah.
If you had one piece of advice for
Okay, hold it. Back off the mic a little bit.
There's a
Okay.
technique where you actually.
Because we couldn't understand you,
It's here.
sorry.
It's here. It's here.
Okay, I have a three-tier question.
Higher. Yeah.
Three-tier question. I'll do the first part in my high voice.
Falsetto.
Is there anything you guys have done, like a rant that was caught on mic that will live forever, like a Shatner rant or a Casey Kasem rant?
Thankfully not here.
Fucking ponderous.
Okay.
But there's still
I'm-
time.
I'm sure that when
Yes.
I do on-camera stuff, I always forget that the mic is on, and I know that there's a few sound guys like on CSI New York or Franklin and Bash who are just like, I could sink you anytime.
I
have
kind of
it
hit on
tape.
Stephanie Zimbalist once and forgot that there was a. She was like, done.
What was she like in the sack?
She's no Priscilla Burns. 'Cause I've been with both.
Stephanie Zimbalist? I thought you said Ephraim Zimbalist.
No, Stephanie.
He's fantastic. Don't you see a
It was
They're
horrible
like,
word about
who are these people?
Snyder? Yes.
Snyder?
Yes, Snyder. Yes.
How much of Master Shake voice and personality is based on Sean Hannity?
100% minus 20%.
And
So
then
80%.
my third question will be in my low voice for the whole panel, anyone who can or wants to. How much does the Miami Convention
That was
Center-
a slider. You didn't start right there, but you're slowly slid into
I'll
it.
start over.
You need to
You
practice
descended.
so you can maintain that
Give
voice.
us some Barry White here.
Slide
right?
into it, baby.
We'll do a pickup.
It's good.
How much does the Miami Convention Center weigh?
How much does it weigh?
Ooh.
Damn, buddy, it's a hard question.
It has to be expressed in a power of 10, I think.
It weighs exactly 1/100th the weight of Miami.
Thank you.
I flunked
You're
math
welcome.
9 times, so yes,
Yes,
9 times.
don't forget
Apparently,
to
math
shake
has
hands
nothing to
with
do with
Scott Edson.
voiceover.
I'm going to look
By
that
the
up.
way,
I really
waited
am.
in
I'm gonna look it
line.
up.
Best line I've ever heard at a Comic-Con was at Comic-Con. Man asking a very serious question about the release dates of Moral Oral at the San Diego Comic-Con, and Scott Adsit stopped and said, "Excuse me, sir, are you here for the con?" Dressed as a full stormtrooper. Asked a full stormtrooper, was he here for the con?
This is not the con.
Fantastic. Fantastic moment of the most insane panel I've ever seen in my life.
This is not the con you're looking for.
Your question. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, hi, I'm good.
You just asked her that.
Breathe in the, well, she didn't answer though.
No.
She just kept saying hi.
Yeah, because I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I'm
be
nervous
nervous.
too. It's okay.
We're on stage. We're not nervous.
This is specifically for Rodger.
Oh, damn it.
I know. But I found that like in a lot of cartoons, especially like the '90s cartoons, there's a lot of like rapid fire comedy and stuff. Did you like do like a lot of ad libbing, especially for SpongeBob and the jokes and stuff?
We have a way of doing that. We do a couple of pages as written, and then we do what's called the crazy take, when we can do absolutely anything we want to do, which is so liberating. We do some vulgar things sometimes, and they save that stuff, so that can probably kill us later on too. But yeah, in the 90s I did a show called Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego, and I was the chief in that, and they allowed me to just go on and on and on whenever I wanted to. It was like Squidward on Red Bull. And so yeah, it's definitely a part of it, and as I say, it's liberating when you can do it.
You should explain, like, you know, a lot of not every cartoon does like this, but many times, if you're lucky, you know, you do like a radio play, like you're all in the room together, and you have this. There'll be a regular script that will say, you know, things like, cut to the exterior of Foomba's house, and there's Foomba playing with his hula hoop and stuff. But then when you go in and record it, it's literally just the lines of dialogue, and everyone has a number, 1 through whatever the end of the script is. And so typically, if there's a little scene, you'll have the director and you're all in the big booth, like the We Are the World thing. But they'll say like, we're going to go through 1 through 20. So you'll sort of read, you'll read all your lines. Everyone will do it all in order. But that's sort of like how that goes. And, then they'll say, then you'll go back again and sometimes say like, oh, do 27 again. We need a retake of that. And, but it's like a group thing when it's good. Not even when it's good. Sometimes you have to go on your own and stuff, but like.
That's why the table read is so important in these things, because you get the beats on the different scenes. In SpongeBob, I don't know if other shows are doing this. Table read. Remember those tables? And they gave us the storyboard before the show, a very detailed storyboard, so we know how much to do this. We know what this shot is. We know what's coming up, and that really helps that whole process.
Yeah, because you'll record too, and there'll be like the screen. There's a TV screen like in the booth many times that will follow the storyboard. You know what a storyboard is?
Yeah, like a graphic novel kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
And you need that storyboard, because if you read the script, your character goes, "Ag," and you're
right.
like,
is he falling off a cliff, or did a ghost pop out of the closet, or
why am I agging?
Is he sickened by a rotten muffin he ate?
Yeah, which is what it turned out to be.
Charlie Brown.
So is the rotten muffin.
Yeah. But and video games can be a really solitary experience if you do those, because you typically come in one person at a time and read your lines, and you don't know what they're in reference to, because they're going to be plugged in according to what the player does. I've done them for years, and just the other day I did the first video game I've ever done where I was actually in the room with another actor at the same time.
Wow. And those scripts sometimes,
we don't get those scripts beforehand.
That's like
you walk in and you better be on your game, because they're
like,
just like, here you go, and you're like, okay.
Like the video games I've done, obviously tell me to shut up. But
shut up.
Like the script is like it's an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You'd be like, line 575, impact noise.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which
death sounds.
Like, but there'll be like 20 things, impact noise.
Yeah.
They have a
some
thing now.
jackass will have to spell them all out. EERG, EARG, REARG.
Death by lightning, death by flamethrower, death by falling off cliff, death by exsanguination.
The script for Pong was much more simplistic, though.
You were the voice of Pong.
I was.
They have a thing now where we don't even get. You used to get paper scripts, and now you walk in and it's a television screen, and you generally only see the line before the one that you just did, the one you're working on now, and the one that you're going to work on. So when I mentioned going to improv classes, it's also not just about being funny or reading out loud. Those things help, because when you get in there, you're literally like, I have no, and most of the time they're like, oh, by the way, sorry, this is totally out of order. So you're going to be in love with this person for 4 lines, and then you're going to be doing some death screams, and then you're going to be having a baby, and then you're going to be running through the spaceship, and you're like, so you're literally just jumping back and forth all over the place.
It's an amazing thing too to watch a voice actor. I don't even remember what the original question was. It's an amazing thing to watch. To watch a voice actor dial in, a really good voice actor dial in on a character in the moment that they haven't read before. They'll come. We'll have a guest star on the show. Somebody will come in and they'll be like, okay, he's a delivery guy. Okay, he sounds kind of like this, huh? No. Make him hipper. Okay, he sounds kind of like this, huh? Okay, younger. Okay, he sounds kind of like, they just keep dialing in until they get to exactly what the director wants, and that's an exciting thing to watch, and it's also something you have to be prepared to do.
That's one of the things that the things that we do is one of our crafts that we learn, is how to do things on the spot like that, dial it in, and get out in a reasonable amount of time. Some of the guest stars that come in that aren't normally doing voiceover work have a harder time at that, because they need context and they need flow. We don't.
Yeah,
George Clooney, you big dope.
Roger makes a great point, which is that I've seen people come into that booth that I grew up admiring, amazing actors who have more trouble doing that work than other people who were much less well known. Different skill set. Totally different skill set.
You keep getting deliveries over here. What is this?
Where do I sign up for that? Is that like a?
I made
like Netflix?
I made some mulled wine earlier.
Nice.
If you give an what you're not seeing is that Dana gives a short wave to the technicians. And the
If you do
glasses
this,
go.
they'll bring it over. There you go.
If he speaks into the mic, they bring him
Hi.
a drink.
How are you?
I'm good.
Have you ever been here before?
Yes.
How many times? Ooh, second time. How was the last one?
It was pretty good.
How do you like last one compared to this one?
It's a lot bigger, but
Yeah.
the other side is more crowded and it's like a lot smaller.
And
A
you
lot
were-
of like big crazy people just elbowing people all over the place,
yeah.
right?
You
Am
were
I
much
right?
younger
Trying to
then.
get to that t-shirt.
He's on just here
Stand.
for Cal Drogo. He's just here for
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What was your first like voice you did for TV? Like what was the first voice you did for characters?
The first one I did was for Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Master Shake. That saw you at the Annie's, didn't I? Don't I recognize?
The first video game I did was a Starship Troopers game, followed quickly by an American Idol game, which flew off the shelves. I played the Paula Abdul character. The third time I've played Paula Abdul in my life. So that
Once
was my
with me.
first. Yes. And I actually met him playing Paula Abdul on the iCarly television show. I was a Paula Abdul judge, and he was
Some French guy.
some French guy playing.
Now, were they connected? Did the casting directors from the second and third see you the first time, or did you randomly become Paula?
I randomly became. I guess people thought I had like a pill problem or something, and they were just like, "Let's have her do it." So I voiced her for this American Idol game, and then it just blossomed into an on-camera kind of a situation. We look very similar, so.
In an example of not knowing when to take advantage of your opportunities, my first voice gig was actually a long time ago when I was doing a play in New York, and the producer knew somebody who was doing a documentary for PBS, and they needed somebody to be a voice of the guy that built the Verrazano Bridge in New York. And so
So you had to sound like a person that builds bridges.
a Swiss guy that builds
Swiss
bridges.
guy.
Particular guy.
Well,
So-
let's narrow it down.
So I went and read for it, and I got that, and I did this little voiceover that you could still find. It's a PBS documentary, and I thought, well, that was fun. It's not really what I do, but it was fun, you know. And it was many years after that I actually became a voiceover actor. But that was my first.
Do you remember what a Swiss guy that builds bridges sounds like?
Yes, he sounds very much like the Einstein that I did for
Cosmos.
Cosmos.
What?
It was a very sort of Germanic dialect, which is
a bridge.
yes. Well, I think that's a Swedish
Swedish guy.
Swedish
Yeah,
guy,
that's
yeah.
what I was thinking, though.
Yeah.
Bork, bork.
My first voiceover work was with a guy named Thomas Edison.
Mary had a little lamb.
It was #1 with a bullet. It's great.
I have one more thing to ask you. The person who plays Rigby, can you do the stop talking that you say to Mordecai sometimes?
Cover your ears.
Yeah, get ready for this. I hope they don't think I'm talking about this across the floor. Stop talking! My favorite sequence from that, though, and the one that I always get asked to do is, ham boning will save your life someday.
And he just illustrated one of the other crafts that we have to develop, that many of us in this business have to craft, and that is the ability to scream without blowing your throat out. It is an artwork. Believe me.
Or more importantly, blowing the sound guy's ears out because they will hate you
And
forever.
there are some people who do nothing but scream. Like they do like those blood curdling like horror movie screams like.
But you have to be able to do it
I
without
can't do it.
damaging your
Seriously,
voice.
everyone will hate me.
Do it. Everyone will love you.
I'll do it off mic.
Yeah.
You
do
want
it
an off mic
Hold
version?
it like way down here.
Is that you, darling?
I just peed a little.
They just ran out of Papa John's pizza. That's what that means.
Guy just threw it up in the ceiling.
Every security guard just went on alert.
Or on
And a couple of
semi-alert.
dogs.
Every security guard just opened one eye. Maybe something's going on. I don't know.
What? What's that over there?
Plaid shirt. How's it going? You hold that mic like a young Gene Rayburn. I just want to point that out. Very
Should be
professional.
much longer mic, though.
Yeah. But be way down.
Yeah,
Dated reference.
Waking up.
Answering questions like that.
Having to put lipstick on now.
Having to put lipstick on, yeah.
Having to actually wash yourself now.
Yeah.
Now
the
that
hardest
on-camera
part is
people have started
having
doing it.
baby Jesus back up here again for a second question.
You know what? He's allowed. He's allowed.
We-
Why not?
okay,
Give him a 3 first.
Come on,
Give him a 3
we're
first.
not being fair. There's got to be
What,
some
the
hard
hardest,
part.
The hardest part. Oh, it's total. It's
Auditioning.
But he's a
you
choir.
audition for 50 things and maybe you get 49 of them.
It's true. Luck,
Very rough.
If
'cause
you're
there's
lucky,
that one you didn't get.
you
No,
audition for
auditioning,
so
that's
many
the thing.
things. Yeah. When I first was doing my demo, the buddy of mine who did it, who's a working voice actor, said, "I think you're going to work at this. I think you're going to be successful." He said, "But the way it works is you're going to read." Every day, you're going to read and read and read and read and read and read and read. And one day they're going to call you up and say, "Hey, congratulations, you booked Phil." And you'll be like, "Who's Phil?" And that's the way it works. You
Yeah.
better
And Phil, you auditioned for 8 months earlier, have no recollection what it even was.
Yeah.
I just experienced one of the hardest things I've ever had. I auditioned for several parts for a new cartoon. I didn't get any of them, but they called me in for other parts that I did not read for. So walking in, even though they liked me, I had no idea how I'm going to dial in this character, what they want. And even though I've been at this business for like 40 years, that was generating some anxiety for me. So fortunately, it came out pretty well. But my goodness, yeah, to go in there and to fly blind, you really have to either have confidence in yourself or you really have a relationship with God.
I've got a specific story. Oh, sorry. Would you? I've got a specific story for you. My agent once accidentally sent me the wrong copy. I was sent 2 pages of copy for a video game. One had English lines in German, and the other page was German lines. And I don't speak German, but I really hate to pass up an opportunity. So I spent an evening, looking these words up, finding what they meant. I was a little annoyed. I'm like, they know I don't speak German. So I went ahead and turned it in, and I booked it. And I ended up going and recording this video game. And after they listened to me a couple of times, they had a German guy come and sit in the booth with me. Because, as I think I mentioned, I don't speak German. And so, I would be like, ich spreche Deutsch. He'd be like, nein, nein, nein. Ich spreche Deutsch. I'd be like, ich spreche Deutsch. Nein, nein, nein. Ich spreche Deutsch. I couldn't there was no difference. But he could hear a difference. That was the longest day of my life.
Do you know the best Nazis are always played by English actors?
Yes, absolutely. The great character actors.
Okay, I'm going to ask my question.
Did you go out and buy a purse?
Where are you from?
We're so sorry.
I'm actually from Miami,
He's got 2 bags
No,
on
no.
him.
Where are your parents from then?
Italy.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
one's
She's
from
good.
One's from the Bronx, one's from Missouri, but my grandparents are from Italy.
Wait a minute. Hold on a
All right.
minute. How did you extrapolate your parents are from Italy and one's from Missouri? My papa, he's from Rome, Missouri. And my mama, she's from Naples, New York.
That's pretty loose
Ah.
genealogy there,
Well, one thing I was going to ask was what kind of tips would you recommend for caring for your voice for practicing and after all that? What tips would you give for making sure you don't blow out your vocal cords?
Don't scream like I just did.
First
That's
of
the
all,
first one.
push from the diaphragm.
That's right.
That's great.
Take voice lessons.
Even though
even singing, they teach you how to use your body, your diaphragm, and not to. You have to always warm up.
And
Yeah.
Second question: where exactly do you get the opportunities to get the voices? Is there sort of like a want ad section where you want someone to audition for this studio, or do you just go straight to the studio? See
Craigslist.
The agent.
Craigslist.
Here again, eHarmony.
Yeah. No, the agent.
Billions
Yeah, the
of
agent.
Go through
couples
your
have
agent.
been
It's
together
total
with
agent.
eHarmony.
It's and it's
My eHarmony guy voice.
it's for real. It's a tough racket to break into. I was on a show, and a buddy of mine walked me into William Morris, and I read for them, and they said thank you, no. So it's a tough.
They didn't
Stupid.
say no to us.
They were stupid to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it feels
I'll let
better
you say
now.
You have to have a demo. The normal channels are you make a voiceover demo, you send it to agents, you get an agent's interest, they will bring you in. Like you really don't get to, but there's some weird online thing that's like some weird. I know some guy. who
Voices
does-
123, voices.com. If you're not in the union, if you're trying to get your start, there are websites that you can literally just go on, upload auditions, and bid for work.
And also, here's the thing. I mean, you live in a major market here. You could make a demo and send it to all these production houses and things here in Miami, that all these radio stations and things that every day they have to make 10 different commercials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you send your stuff into those guys.
But now, have you ever heard of a production house going to voiceovers 1, 2, 3? Or is that just...
No, but I'm saying if you live here in Miami, I mean, how many major radio stations are there here? And these advertising agencies are doing, you know, Feingold's Cadillacs or whatever the hell they're doing a commercial for.
The ad team. The ad team does all the car commercials.
Yeah, there you go. So you make a little demo. You listen to that voicebank.net. You make yourself a demo. Then you send it into the ad team. Be like, hey, start your letter off like this. Hey, jackasses, get off your lazy buns and start. You want to make real money? Start bringing me in.
Yeah.
That'll score some points because they've got chutzpah.
I think I actually would try to get a job before I would try to get an agent these days, just because the agents aren't going to be impressed unless you have work.
Yeah.
And like these guys are saying, you can approach the market without an agent. It's just harder.
You can. Technology has changed things for the better, and for some of us, not quite for the better, because now people like anybody here can go home with their iPhone and upload an audition to the voice bank, and now we are now auditioning against hundreds of people, whereas before it was a couple of score people.
It's two guys.
It was
Those
really
two
four guys,
bastards.
you know. And so it's that technological change is good for you. For us, not so much.
Yeah, but I mean, you're lucky though that you live here in Miami, which is a big market. Like, there's a lot of think when you're listening to the radio or the TV, how many local commercials are made? Like, it's harder for us. I mean, it's not harder, but we live in L.A. or a little place. I don't know if you heard of it called Hollywood. Scott Adsit, no stranger to Hollywood, or New York,
Hollywood, California.
California. But no, I mean, you have a lot of stuff that's going on here because this is a big city with a lot of people live here. What's her name? Lady in the second row back there. What's her name? Your friend's calling, say, where are you? What's her name? Marisol? Was I even close?
That's
Marisol,
pretty.
come over to the main stage. Your friend, Stephanie, is waving at you. Come to the main stage, Marisol. Stand up so she can see you at least. There she is. All right.
Hi, guys.
Hi. How are you, sweet spirit?
Good.
Oh, good.
I actually wanted to ask not that difficult of a question, but I've been doing amateur voice acting for about like 7, 8 years, I have to say. And I was just wondering that, like, right now for me, I want to like go more towards the professional, like trying to go towards that route. And I was wondering, is there like any advice that you would like to give to me or really anyone, like for those, what's the word? Those letdowners, I guess. I don't know. I know it's another word for it. Like those,
Letdowners.
Yeah, how to deal with rejection.
Do not care about rejection. You are going to be auditioning constantly, and you just forget about it and walk on.
Roger's right. I think it's helpful to. I don't think of my job as being paid to come in and do voices. I think of my job as being paid to audition, and then once in a while I get to go do a voice.
That's the way to put it.
You have to understand, too, take a real logical thought about it, that if you were doing something, there's 100 people, and maybe, I know it's not voice, but imagine just, you know, like you do a theater show, like, this guy's too tall, this guy's too short, this guy your voice is too low, this guy's too high. There's 1,000 different reasons that don't really have anything to do with who you are. Don't think it's about who you are or what you're doing. There's a certain thing they want, and if this guy's going this way and this guy's going this way, it doesn't always match. It's like a needle in a haystack. But the point is getting out and doing them all.
Throw the
I feel
spaghetti
like
at the wall.
Yeah, but I feel like rejection, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I still get upset when there are things that I, like, when I don't get stuff. I don't know that you can necessarily ignore rejection, but I think you can kind of pad the rejections, and if you're doing enough things and you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket, there are times where an audition will stick out because I wanted it and I didn't get it and I'm really upset. And then there's a bunch more out there that I don't necessarily care that much about. I put as much effort as I can into every single one of them, but you just have to diversify, just like with your investments, so that if maybe it's not just about doing voice acting stuff. Maybe you're also doing a play. Maybe you're producing your own content. These kinds of things are the things that buoy you. So when you do go, oh, you know, I did a pilot with SpongeBob and Carlos Alazraqui, and it didn't go. And I thought, oh, this is going to be my big chance. It was with some. I walked into the room and I was just like, I had to actually go and re-record my lines later because I was so nervous in the room with them that I was freaking out. But and it didn't go, and it was heartbreaking for me. I'm sure they are like, whatever, I don't even remember that thing. But in the meantime, I had other irons in the fire, so that while it did upset me, I had other victories potentially. And I just wanted to, I'm not being rude checking my phone, I was actually looking up the title of it. There's a book by Tara Platt and Yuri Lowenthal called, oh crap, I just lost it. I think it's called Voice-over Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic. I think it's a really good book that gives you kind of an overview of what it's like. I know they came from another market into Los Angeles, so that might be very helpful. Bob Bergen, who is the voice of Porky Pig,
Sweetie.
he has at bobbergen.com, he has a frequently asked questions section that goes into a lot of detail about getting started. So those things can also help. That was just an aside. That was a sidebar from another question.
One of the things that involving this rejection thing.
What about like for a rejection from like friends or family or?
You'll make more.
You can always
find other
You can always
from your
find new
friends and
family.
family.
One thing that will keep the rejection thing from really affecting you emotionally is, which I find is the kiss of death. Never do an audition and walk away thinking, I did pretty good. I got a really good chance for that part. It is, to me, the kiss of death. You do the audition, you put it out of your head and walk away. There's no emotion involved if you do it that way.
Yeah. You have
Are
to
you
separate
talking about-
yourself from it. When you go to a store, you gotta buy a new shirt. You go in the store, there's 150 shirts in there, right? The store you go to, I know, Hot Topic. Let's talk about it. You go in there's 150 shirts. Like, I only need one shirt, but I want the perfect shirt. Doesn't mean the other shirts aren't great. It's just this one shirt on the day you walked in there, you thought, that's the shirt I'm going to get. Doesn't mean the other ones are bad.
When you say the thing about the family and friends rejection, do you mean like with them not supporting the fact that you want to be an actor? Oh, my dad didn't even know that I had an acting major
too.
in
Same
college. My dad didn't even, only when I started booking television show work did my dad pay attention. He still is like, this voiceover thing, whatever. Like, you booked any movies? Done any TV shows? You just have to, again, it's like it's padding. There are going to be some people that are like, you are awesome. You go follow your dreams. You do exactly, it's probably going to be your mom. Your dad, I'm sorry, wait, that's me. But there's going to be people that absolutely love and support you, and there's always going to be people that say, you're too old, you can't do it, you're not talented enough. You know what? Fuck those people. You just keep moving on. You go find the people that tell you that you only get one life, and at the end of your life, you need to be able to turn around and be like, I did everything. I went after it.
Don't waste it doing what other people want you to do. You just do what you want to do.
And remember, confidence is essential to creativity.
But I do think that guy behind you is about to kill you. Just, I'm not sure. He was grabbing for something.
Anyone that says you can't do it, just do the Charlie Brown thing. Wah, 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 wah.